Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Thursday, 29 August. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be covering US and Chinese officials are talking about a range of issues. France has handed Telegram CEO preliminary charges, and Switzerland has convicted two oil executives in the 1MDB scandal. So, firstly, US National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan has met with General Zhang Zhao, a top military official of the Chinese People's Liberation Army, at its headquarters in Beijing. This meeting, held on the final day of Sullivan's 3-day visit to China, marked the first between the Biden administration officials and Zhang, who is considered highly influential, even more so than the defense minister. The talks focused on improving military-level communications between the two countries, with Sullivan emphasizing the importance of managing the US-China relations to avoid conflict or competition. Both sides agreed to enhance military communication, planning theater-level talks between commanders, including Admiral Samuel Paparo of the US Indo-Pacific Command and his Chinese counterpart. The dialogue also covered a range of issues, including the Middle East, Ukraine, and Chinese territorial claims over Taiwan and in the South China Sea. Sullivan raised concerns about the stability in the Taiwan Strait and the South China Sea, as well as China's support for Russia in its war against Ukraine. Zhang responded by demanding the US stop military cooperation with Taiwan and cease spreading narratives that China views as false regarding Taiwan. So what? With tensions between the US and China continuing to heat up, this is a likely critical meeting aimed at reducing the tensions. While it is possible that some deals can be reached, it is likely there will be some areas in which agreement is unlikely, particularly around the South China Sea and Taiwan. It will be interesting to see if anything changes in the Chinese-Philippine confrontations following this meetings, as that has been a key area of conflict in recent months. And next, French judges have issued preliminary charges against Pavel Durov, the CEO of Telegram, for allegedly allowing criminal activity on the messaging app. As part of the investigation, authorities have barred Durov, who holds both Russian and French citizenship, from leaving France. After being released from police custody, Durov was transferred to a court for further questioning. The formal investigation implies that authorities believe there is significant evidence to place him under judicial supervision, though it does not necessarily indicate guilt or guarantee a trial. Durov has been ordered to pay a €5 million bail and report to a police station twice a week. The investigation centers on accusations of Durov's insufficient cooperation with authorities regarding criminal investigations and allegations of aiding and abetting criminal offences on Telegram. Durov's lawyer has dismissed the charges as totally absurd, asserting that the social network head cannot be implicated in criminal acts unrelated to him. So what? I still find it interesting that he travelled to France in the first place. He's a smart guy, and he knew what this would mean. I don't think his release means that he is flipped and given the French authorities access into Telegram. This is, unless his move to France was all part of a plan to defect to the West. But this remains to be seen. For the French to move forward with the case makes it seem likely that there is sufficient evidence of wrongdoing. It is possible that Telegram will step up its censorship going forward as a way of limiting the charges against Durov. However, this would likely be met with anger from most of its users. And lastly, Switzerland's federal court convicted two executives, Tariq Abad and Patrick Mahoy, for embezzling 1.8 billion from Malaysia's state investment fund, also known as 1MDB. The pair, involved in oil exploration for the company Petro Saudi, were sentenced to 7 and 6 years in prison respectively, and ordered to reimburse most of the embezzled funds. The court found that they had misled 1MDB by falsely claiming that Petro Saudi had Saudi government backing, leading to fraudulent dealings that enriched them significantly. 1MDB was a Malaysian government investment project that became embroiled in global corruption scandal, implicating high-profile individuals, including the former Prime Minister, who is currently sentenced to 12 years in prison following the scandal. The scandal, which involved nearly 4.5 billion US dollars of embezzled funds, also implicated international figures and institutions, such as the key financier Zhou Lao, Goldman Sachs, and Deutsche Bank. Efforts to recover the stolen assets, with various items including luxury goods and real estates being seized or sold. So what? This is probably one of the most famous fraud cases in modern history and will likely continue to come up for several years, maybe one day even leading to the arrest of the main person of interest, Zhou Lao. Though it seems unlikely that Malaysia will ever recover all of its lost assets, they will continue to try for quite some time due to the amount of money involved. If you're interested in international fraud, then this is a good case to take a look at, as it was very complex in nature and involved some big players, particularly in international finance. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed, or leave us this 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced, and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.